Buenas tardes amigos, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien en esta tarde de martes. Para Moscú ya es de noche en estos momentos y el día de hoy tenemos a una gran atleta de Rusia y estoy, bueno, pues contenta como siempre, ya saben, por tenerla el día de hoy. Segunda entrevista de la semana, esta semana solamente tenemos 2 entrevistas, pero bueno, ya saben que estaremos teniendo muchas entrevistas de rumbo a Tokio en estos meses antes de los Juegos Olímpicos, para que vayamos empapándonos un poquito de este tema olímpico, que vayamos conociendo a todos los atletas que representarán a sus países en los Juegos Olímpicos o que están buscando todavía su lugar. Así que bueno, hay mucho contenido, muchas personas por entrevistar y pues el día de hoy tenemos un deporte muy diferente. Si no se han suscrito a mi canal, por favor, chicos, suscríbanse ahora. Aquí abajo está el botón y síganme en mis redes sociales para que puedan estar enterados de todas las entrevistas y de todo el contenido que estoy subiendo. Y recuerden que si quieren que lea algún comentario o alguna pregunta al final de la entrevista, no dejen de utilizar el super chat, ya que gracias a esos donativos que tan amablemente hacen a este canal, puedo seguir trayéndoles contenido padrísimo que a todos les encanta. Hi everybody, welcome to Cafecito con Masha. Today we have an amazing interview, very different from other interviews I have been doing, but it's amazing. I'm thrilled to have this kind of sport on Cafecito con Masha, so it's amazing. I'm very happy today. In Mexico, it's afternoon, it's noon, but in Russia, it's night already. So today we have a Russian athlete. She's very beautiful and very talented, and I'm very, very happy to have her. So remember that I will be having this Road to Tokyo interview so you can know all these athletes who are seeking for a spot on the Tokyo Olympics or who already have the spot and are going to compete in Tokyo. So please follow me on my social media so you can see which interviews I will be having. I will be having lots of interviews Road to Tokyo on these months before the Olympics and also the figure skating interviews. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. And also, I want to remind you that if you want me to read a comment or a question at the end of the interview, please use the super chat. All these amazing donations you do to my channel help me to bring amazing content for you guys. So I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm very excited for this interview, and I want to introduce our guest for today. She's from Russia. She's beautiful, she's talented, and she's doing a very nice and beautiful sport. She's in equestrian, and she is Olga Ivanova. Hello, Olga. Welcome to Cafecito con Masha. How are you?
Hi, Masha. Thank you for that opportunity. So gracias. It was really so a big opportunity for me to just enjoy this super interesting communication where you just to share a little bit and just to be nice to try somehow involve people into our sport. As for me, it's a big part of my life. That's why thank you so much for today. So I think it's going to be very fun and interesting for us.
I
So
am.
really happy with you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. You know, I relate to you a little bit because I am also in a sport that not so many people watch. I'm in figure skating, and of course, it's a sport that not so many people know. And I believe in your case, it's the same. It's kind of an elite sport, and not so many people know about it. So I want to show people, and I want you to teach us kind of how is it that the competitions work, and also we can learn about the world of equestrian. So I want to start from the beginning. How is your story? How did you get into this sport?
So actually, I got to the sport just this big thanks to my parents, especially my mom. So she was a person who brought me first to the stables, and she just showed me and um, explained this really interesting world with such patient and very um, intelligent and smart animals. And when I just first entered the stables, and I just had this the first lesson, which was actually not some super riding, was just like a welcome lesson. But I think I remember that moment very thoroughly. And I think that this was the moment when I just realized that there won't be a way back. So now only forward, only with horses. So it's a kind of a sport when you are not alone, and you have to be very. So sometimes you can have a team, yes, your coach or just people around you, or if it's like a team sport like football, so then you have also players with you. You just share this responsibility, and here you have to have a twice responsibility for you and your horse. And then it starts with the this communication between animal and a person, which is really really hard to make very I would say very, like you're becoming something between friends and partners and
Yeah.
family. So yeah, it's even so when sometimes people say that dog is a part of family. So for me it's the reality. I have dogs, and here it's like I even can describe that or just say that this is a part of family. This is like a part of your life, and like more closer to human. So that's why I think uh, when I had some options to try and to start tennis or just swimming, I had this opportunity to switch into the other sports, but I understood that the horses is the only passion. So that would be till the end of my life.
So how old were you when you started?
I started at 60, I think at 6, and
Oh,
more professionally, it was after 15. So this sport gives this opportunity not to start too early, as in
yeah.
figure skating. For
Yeah, exactly. So I bet it's very difficult. I mean, I respect horses. I don't know how to ride a horse, but they are so beautiful, and it must be very difficult. We will be talking after some questions. I would like to talk about the communication you were talking about, human and horse, because I think that's very interesting. I mean, to do a sport where it doesn't depend only on you, but you have to communicate with the horse. Oh, I think that is so beautiful. So we will be talking about that. So I imagine that you fell in love with the horses and with the sport right away.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why I actually think that my mission is also to promote this sport, to involve people into this sport, to make people. Uh, so it sounds not really nice, but yeah, for me to make people love horses, not to be afraid of them, because this is a very common thing when people are
Yeah.
afraid of horses.
Have you fallen from your horse?
So I even can't imagine how many times, but this didn't really somehow affected my attitude, or just this didn't make me really scared. So despite the fact that I got some not so tough, but I was injured several times, but still. Uh, I would say that in many kinds of sport, we have this risk,
Yes, of course.
and without, yeah, so without this risk we cannot just go till the end. That's why we
Yeah.
have to accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely. I agree totally. So, okay, like we were saying, not so many people know how this sport works. So, I would like you to explain to us how does the competition work? What things do you and your horse have to do in the competition?
we have to start with our trip. So from your homeland, you take a special car for the horses. You just drive through all the borders possible that you need to get to your destination. Then you just come to this place, and usually thing is that for the horses, the organizers of the events, they usually give several days before the start of the
Mm.
competition, so the horse can get used new place, so they don't get so nervous. This is a very important thing. And I think that athletes from the countries which are, for example, not in Central Europe. So, for example, if we are going from Russia
Mhm.
to Spain, you can imagine. So I had actually that kind of a trip. We had a European Championship for the young riders. And we had to go to Spain. So this was a really long way.
Wow.
And yeah. So, and the organizers always give you this 2-3 days for the horse to switch to a new climate, as
Mhm.
in Russia in summer we don't have usually very extreme hot temperatures,
Mhm.
but talk about South Spain, so they can have very high temperatures, which is something new for the horses. So they just have um, to feel the temperature, the weather conditions, to feel safe, not being nervous.
Mhm.
And then uh, all the competitions, the athletes, they usually laugh at it. So it's not like a formality, but they say that the first day of the competitions is called the vet check.
Uh-huh.
So the vet check, yes, it is with all the veterinarians from the FEE, which
Yeah.
is international support, and they have to check the condition the horse has. So you just show the horse, then you have to so they check the movements, whether the legs are okay, so no problems uh, with any medical conditions, and fine, then usually they accept you, and then you will have 3 days of competitions. So it is, I think, alike like in a figure skating. So you
Mhm.
have individual test,
Yeah.
you have a test, and you have your freestyle with
Yeah.
the music,
Yeah.
so your own program. So the same thing for us, as we have the team sports. So the first day is with your team, but still in this first day you can get your individual medal and together with a team medal.
Like in
And the second,
gymnastics.
yeah, and the second day, so we have a mix from different sports. I think
Yeah.
like um, and during the second day you just do your utmost to get your individual scores and results and medals. And the third day is the freestyle day, also your own personal program. But there is a detail that only so this depends on the quality of the competition, but usually if we talk the status of European Championship or the World Cup finals, usually only 15, so from 15 to 18 best athletes have this chance to take the third day. So if you are
Okay.
not in this top 15, so sorry, you don't have this opportunity to show your own program.
Wow.
Yeah, so cruel, cruel.
Oh, that's hard. So, for
Yeah.
example, I'm gonna show a competition. I think it was the Grand Prix final. So I see the horse kind of does. I don't know. He I don't know what's the name or the terms, but he goes like one side to the other side, backwards, forward. So explain to
Uh,
us a little bit of this because it's so interesting.
So I would explain, I think, the top level, which is called Grand Prix. So this is the test Grand you are looking at, and at the moment you can find a half pass,
Yes.
which is very beautiful. And some horses like mine, so this is our top movement, and I love to do half passes. So this is in your Grand Prix schedule. So you have the half passes. Then you have a very interesting, and this is called high school passage at the moment. And then you will see the P up. So this is like a trot, but you are doing trot firstly. So the pace is getting lower, 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 and then you are doing it at so just the tempos are on the one place, and this is very hard. So the P
Wow.
up, it is when you have to do on one place you have to up to 12 steps. So your horse is basically you just stop it. It looks like you stop your horse, but with the legs she's still making them up. So this is a trot movements. Then we have a canter. You can look at the video. So you have this canter, and this is pirouette, when you do the circle also in one spot. So the circle in one spot, and very beautiful also the flying changes. So when the with the diagonal, the hind and front legs changes. So, and you can make it in a Grand Prix. You have it's called one tempi. So when each side of diagonal changes, so horse makes change of diagonal each time you make a new canter. And then you have a two flying changes, so two stride, and this means that one stride you go, for example, with your front leg, it would be, for example, the right leg. You make two strides with the front right leg, and then you turn to left, and so you have to count. Yeah, and so it's all about the functioning of your horse. So you have to give so many comments to make horse do this. So this is very hard, and the point of our sport is that the judges, the spectators, they are not to see that you are doing on the top of the horse. So the point is that you have to be sitting very beautiful and showing no I would say no emotions and no movements. So like this is something very natural for you and the horse. So and the better athlete shows that, so the higher marks he gets. So very interesting.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's so difficult. So when you talk, you try to not show that you're talking to the horse?
Actually, so it is not allowed by the rules to talk with the horse during the competitions. So you are not allowed to make any sound. So even, like helping to move your horse like more with more energy. So this is not allowed. And you can only just think about what you would just want to make with your horse, and just like, to push all this information just straight into your horse head. So this is the only opportunity, like only
Oh my
mentally.
God.
Horse,
Okay, I'm curious. For example, if you want your horse to do the diagonal, do you have to
yeah.
move some way, or what do you do?
So actually, we so to make any movement from our top class school, we need to use our hands and legs, and you just use your hands and legs in different, in different, I would say, p- level
Signals?
push.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So you can turn a little bit with your hand. So you use your leg in a different. So also you push, but not sometimes stronger, sometimes not so strong. So you uh this is very like into detail. So you use mini movements
Yeah.
on the horse to make it do some things that are maybe sometimes hard to understand for a person who just came the first time to take a lesson. So
Mm-hmm.
that they are curious how to make a horse go forward.
Yeah.
But when you just do it each day, sometimes a horse understands that you need to just go straight in a trot, canter, or walk just by the level of pushing by your leg. So actually,
Wow.
with your hands, you show the way you should go. So right, left, straight, back,
Yeah.
and with the leg, you show the path. So trot, canter, walk. And if you need like more canter, more trot, or so slower or faster, you use also the pushing of the leg to show whether you need. So actually, my coach always says that this is like similar to driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
So you push, you can stop, you can go so back, you can just turn around, so something like that. And also you have to be, so the legs are working together with the hands.
Wow,
So so
this is so interesting. I had no idea. For example, my father knows how to ride a horse, but not like in competition. And I was always, all my life, I was wondering how you guys do this because it's so beautiful to watch. It's so elegant. I mean, it's perfect. And also, I wanted to ask you about your freestyles. Do you choose the music or your coach does?
So actually, I choose the music all the time, as this is like the part of showing your personality. So
Mhm.
that's why it's important to make this choice by yourself, as well as with the scheme. So with the test, you can just make your program, of course, using the best elements you feel like. So of course there is a list that you are to do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is important. So you have to accept all the rules and not forget about all the elements. But you can so divide them. You can change something. You can make uh, any program you'd like. But also with the music, so you can just, it could be only one, I could say, author,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be album, or it could be only one song. But usually people tend to divide into different so different parts, also trot,
With
canter, and
different
walk.
rhythms.
Yeah, so they change rhythms, but still, what is I think very, what looks very interesting, like in theater, like I would say like a small cinema for you, when you have all the music is from one soundtrack
Yeah.
from the film or cinema, which we usually use, which looks very good and careful, and you just so you have this feeling that this all this, like, it's a scene in theater. And so I have Mulan, and I
Wow.
have all, yeah, 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 and I have all the music from Mulan. So that's why it's
Beautiful.
something, yeah.
It's a
So
great song for that. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and I just found, so the top three songs from this cartoon, and I divided them, and so that's why we have this very very nice, smooth integration from trot. This music integrated to trot, canter, and walk, and just very nice, because my horse is really big one,
Hmm.
and I'm small on him, and he's like a brave warrior. That's why it looks really really nice, and the rhythm of his legs is very similar to the music beats. That's why it looks really nice. And
So
so
this is the music you're going to use the whole season this year.
yes, yes, of course, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
it's a great choice. I love it.
Thank you,
So
thank
I'm
you.
wondering, what do you have to do, like, physical training to be in shape to be able to be on the horse?
Oh, this is very tough question, actually, because I know that especially 2 weeks ago, our FE said that now we would have some restrictions towards the athlete's weight,
Oh.
as it's very important to keep the horses safe, and especially their backs,
Mm-hmm.
which is you are not to be, so they have this some scheme to count according to your weight and the horse's weight. So they just find this average. But so we're waiting for this.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, actually, I think it's a trend in sport to be very skinny. So
Yes.
it's like gymnastics, but
Mm-hmm.
as women and men compete together in our sport, so we don't have this dividing. So everyone looks really different, and in a modern world, especially. at the moment. So I find it that little bit from skinny it comes to normal,
Mm-hmm.
and which is a sport fit athlete's constitution, which is not something too much or just less than it should be. Actually, I know that a lot of people who do horse riding professionally, they have so really really professionally, they have a lot of horses during the day,
Mm-hmm.
so more than to ride, and they just don't have time or just opportunity to do some sports or just to do fitness, so they don't have I think energy or power for
Or,
that. But the problem is that this is not really correct, and this leads to you being not so healthy as you don't look after your muscles,
yeah.
so you don't stretch them, you don't work on the balance. And what I do, and I know that the German team also does it, I do yoga.
Okay.
So I do the stretching, the balancing, the woman balance, the crossfits. So actually, I don't like gyms. That's why for me, this is the best options.
Yes.
And when you do it, you feel much better. And I just found out that when I started my lessons, I found out that even sitting on a horse became really easier. So your position gets better and better, so
Yeah.
you get smoother, you are so. And a lot of yoga is about self-control, and when you have this opportunity to work on your self-control, this really helps in the competitions.
Yeah.
And I
Of
think
course.
that this trend with uh, stretching or yoga, this is a brilliant one for the horse riding. That's why I do, and I just recommend everyone to try, as you feel much better.
And
But
I also
usually,
believe that maybe, I'm sorry, that maybe if you have your self control because of the yoga, that also helps with the horse, maybe.
yes, it absolutely helps with the horse, as there is issue that when you get nervous, as horse is an animal, so they get also nervous, and this
Mm-hmm.
is the real problem. That's why you have to keep yourself very under control in order to make your competition really nice, and to show all your best, you have to be very prepared. And so the horse actually will do all the things, and will show all the emotions you have. So that's why you should, yeah, don't ever skip this psychological preparation. I
Yeah.
think this is important.
So I'm very impressed about what you said that depending of your horse, you have to be at some weight. So do you need to be, like changing your weight depending on the competition when they, measure or weigh your horse?
So I think this is like, at the moment this is a starting program, and it will take absolutely some time to create these rules. I think it would take not 1 year to
Mm-hmm.
go, but uh, uh, so concerning the issue, I personally think that this is a good idea, as
Yes.
really the biological structure, the muscle structure of the horse is actually, so they have one long muscle connected with each other.
Yeah.
And when you have very tough weight on the back of the horse, all the muscles starting from the head, starting from the ears to toes, so they get damaged
Yes, of
due
course.
to the very so we don't think about the problem that they are to do not naturally movements, which are take a lot of power, energy, and health from them. And if we do not support them with doing so all the options we can to make their life easier, also with the weight conditions of the athletes. So it could be important. I don't think that they will make something that would not come to conclusion or with the opinions of the medical team that represent athletes. So we're not talking about so the first place horse health and then only athletes. No, so both together.
Yes.
That's why I think it would be something average and in the middle, depending on the age, depending of the so yeah, I think age, then gender, then depending on the height, so very important, and also depending on the horse, so the physical condition, also the weight, the height, and etc.
And how many hours do you train with your horse every day?
So moment from 3 to 4 hours, it depends, but at the moment I don't have so many horses. There was a time I had 6 horses a day, which was my average, and I would not recommend for the professional rider who competes to take more, because you just are not so how to say, so you can ride even more. So I can ride about 10 horses a day, but it would not bring me so much, I would say, so it's not about the quantity, it's about quality. So sometimes it's better to concentrate on your top horses that you have, so your main partners that and the competitions you are planning, and to work thoroughly on each detail, and to be very confident that you have overworked everything, and you just are prepared to show this horse in a best way. And sometimes there is thing that you can ride 11 horse or 10 a day, and you are stressed, you don't feel like you're happy.
Yes.
You're just tired, and then it's the next day and still 11 horses, and you're like, oh my god, and then I have to go to competitions. Who will keep my horses working while I'll be away? So a lot of moments you have to think of. That's why I believe that when you have 6 top horses, so relevant to your so level of your competitions, this is okay. So and there is thing that some professional riders on the top level, like Grand Prix, so they keep if you have this opportunity, yes, you can keep 4 horses the Grand Prix level, and you can take, for example, 2 the middle level to teach them. And I can see so the examples of professional athletes who they tend not to take the young horses. So they the people who can teach them up to some level, not to just spare this time, so to work with the horses on the top level. But this really depends. I also know so some examples when people I think that the only opportunity to teach all so all the way to Grand Prix your horse is to take the horse from the beginning, so just starting from zero, and to teach all by yourself. And only with this scheme you can go to Olympic Games. So I just read a book of Ingrid Klimke. This is a very prominent athlete. So she does fencing. We have such discipline in horse riding, which is also Olympic one.
Yes.
And yeah, so she wrote that for her family, so the whole family is doing equestrian sports. So for them, the only option is to start from zero. So to learn everything by. But yeah, so if you have this, sometimes people do not have these skills, and they have to find coaches, so people who will learn and teach something their horses. That's why I think this is very so yeah, so personal attitude and how you feel like to do.
Wow, it's so interesting. And for example, a horse, how many years can he compete?
So starting from usually the young horses start competing from 4 years
Mm-hmm.
till 6 years. It's called young horse. Then
Mm-hmm.
starting from 7 years up to um 18,
Wow,
you can horse. Yeah.
a lot of
So
time.
a lot of time, yes, and you can just you have this time to come through all the levels to go to the Grand Prix. And I think so. At the moment, my horse is 16,
Mm-hmm.
so he middle age, and this is very very nice age when they are not so spooky, or they're very also confident in themselves. They feel not so, they know already a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and so they have experience already. And so this is very nice to work with a horse that is like really really smart one.
I love that you talk about your horse like if he was a human. And it's so amazing. I can imagine the connection between you and your horse must be beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. But really, it is like this. So I just can't imagine. So feeling something else. I think all people who have so who have chosen this sport as professionals, so they seem to have this attitude towards the horses.
Yes, of course, it's so beautiful. So now I want you to explain us, like really good explanation of how you communicate with your horse. How do you get to know him and, make him almost read your mind and all that?
So actually, this is like for me, I thought about this uh not so long time ago. I think this really works like you have to spend a lot of time with your horse, and not only just sitting and doing exercises on top of the horse, but you have to work with the horse on the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So just be a part of his so a part of animal's life. So I even don't call it animal because I feel like this is a human.
Yes,
So
of course, it's a he.
the- yeah, the he, so it's not a grammatical mistake, but on attitude. So you have to try to walk with him, or just to spend some time to feed, to understand the character, to see how the horse behaves in so in so when you attend the competitions, you have a lot of opportunity to get acquainted with your horse in some very close ways. So they feel very stressed, and they show all their emotions very good. So you have this opportunity to become a person they can always relate to and feel very comfortable and safe with. So I think the option to make the so to make horse understand you good or just better is to spend a lot of time with that horse, and to so try to understand the character. So like with dogs.
Yes.
So if what
And like with persons.
like with people, yes, so they
Yeah.
also they all are different, so they like different treats. You have to start with these simple things, like understand what kind of treats your personal horse likes, then what is important for your horse to walk with you, or they love to play in nature, so to go to walk in the fields. Sometimes you have to understand whether you can push, or it's better sometimes to leave your horse and give some holidays, so they can just eat some grass. And I think that so the more you spend with your horse, the more horse gets very used to your uh, so to you being near, and they just think that you are becoming part of
The
family for
world.
this horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they tend to believe you, to hear what you're trying to say. So yeah, please spend a lot of
Wow.
time.
This is so beautiful. I mean, I have never talked to someone who did this sport, and I'm learning so much. This is so amazing. I mean, I just love it. I love the story. I love the connection. I think it's a very special connection between you and the horse. Wow, I
Yeah,
just love it. So
thank
definitely,
you.
I will be watching this sport on the Olympics.
Thank you so much. Yes, please. So, for me, it's actually a big pleasure just to share these emotions. And so, really, this is a nice sport. That's why I think that we will have a bright future. So, for the upcoming children to our sport.
I really hope so. And now, talking about the pandemic, of course, last year and kind of this year has been crazy. It affected the world, it affected the sports. Like we were saying before going live, of course, so many competitions got canceled. And it's crazy because it was Olympic year last year and the Olympics got postponed. So, how was for the equestrian world all this pandemic? I mean, did you compete or do you have many competitions canceled? How did you manage to keep training through last year?
Oh, yeah, really a tough time and a tough question. So the problem was that at the moment when the pandemic was announced, we were planning to go to our first starting season competition to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and actually almost an hour away. So it was the first day we were to start our trip, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to cancel it. So it was. I remember that day and I thought that it was not so serious. I
Yeah.
still had a hope that we will have this chance to go maybe next week or so in two
Yeah,
weeks. But
everybody thought that.
yeah, but no, so 1 month, then two, and then half a year, then so 1 year and crazy. The problem was that I think so each sport have the same schedule. So when you have 6 months before the Olympics, you're starting to get the best shape,
Yeah.
and you're horse and yourself on the top form you ever had in between 4 years, and we were on this top form. And the problem is when each individual in each sport, an athlete gets the top form, it is psychologically very important to show this top form. And when all the competitions were postponed, we had to uh, find a way not to have problems with the health in order to make all the training process maybe lighter than it was. So to make this top form to go back to the middle one or even to the lower one to support your horse and
Mm.
yourself have this opportunity to come up to a top form in for example 2 or 3 and 6 months. And as we didn't really realize for how long we have to postpone and to find a new training process, it took us I think 2 months to understand that we have to change everything. Then I had to count, and I just made that decision that I am going to give horse some holiday,
Mm.
as we usually do after big competitions. So horse has this like wellness and spa, and so we're thinking only about some healthcare, and I did that. And I think in August it was announced that the first competitions were to start,
Yeah.
and we had this opportunity. And also in Russia, we had the Russian championships coming
Yes.
in October, and
Mhm.
I understood that okay, so I have to start to go back to my shape. And I think it was the hardest part in all my career, as it was like from the beginning. So
Oh,
it was, yeah, I felt like it was just starting from nothing. So my horse was really just thinking that no sport at all. So now I'm feeling good with my new life. okay, I'm not going to do anything. So despite the fact that we had the training process and we did all the elements, but still this is a psychological issue. So
Yeah,
the horse, they good, so they know very good when the competition is really won. And when you're just trying to do something at home, showing them like this is a competition,
mm-hmm.
so they know that it is not. And when we just started our first competitions, I was like, oh my god. So from the beginning, how so horse really didn't want to do anything. And then it took, I think, yeah, 40 days to make horse go back to the shape.
Wow.
And yeah, so a long time.
Yeah.
And then we started a competition season in Russia. We had an opportunity to compete in Hungary. We took part in World Cup, and it was really nice. And then I had also some international competitions, so 3 stars. And then once again, all the competitions were cancelled. But I understood that I don't have this opportunity to do the thing I did in spring and in beginning of the summer. So I have to keep my form, to keep the shape, and I just continued on training a lot. And I found a way to compete each holiday in Moscow, so in the stables around the Moscow region. So it was pub competitions, but so the real one, maybe not very so with a high status, but still it was important to just attend the competitions.
Yes, of course.
And we yeah, so we left the form. And at the moment, I'm trying. So we have not so many time before the Olympic Games. And the thing is that we have such a detail that um, we have the ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on that ranking that we have, we will compete in Olympic Games. So starting from the bottom to the up, we'll have this so the people who are down the ranking, they will start first, second, and third.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are higher, they will go in the last they will go the last one. So at the moment, it's very important for each athlete to have this scores and rankings higher.
Mm-hmm.
But we have this opportunity as still the corona restrictions are really really high. And I had so I just found that they were the big competitions in Belgium, but they at the moment have the governmental restrictions. They said that they're not ready to accept us.
Oh,
And I believe that, yeah, so till the end of March, still no competitions. And maybe in April we will go away also somewhere to Europe.
mm,
And we will do, yeah, our best to take part in competitions. But so our coach, the team coach, said that he believes that in May we'll have this opportunity to compete in Europe and to prepare for the competitions, and prepare for the Olympic Games, also to have this top fit form to understand how it works. And
wow.
usually in all kind of sports before the Olympic Games, if you have this opportunity to have the World Cup finals or the European Championship, so uh, they just had the European Championships before the Olympics. So
Mm-hmm.
all the teams already came, and they approximately understood what the level was, what the riders were competing, what the scores are, so what the improvements they can make till the time the Olympic Games starts. So
Wow.
this year, no, this we don't have this opportunity. So we're going like so with our personal attitude and the form we have. So that's why I think that for me personally, the most important thing is not competing with other people, but competing with yourself. So if I'm ready to understand that my power control and So my I would say preparedness is on a top form, then I will be showing a good results despite the fact how many competitions I took. So at the moment we don't have to stop our training process and still do everything to show that so to show the horse that the competitions will be near, and they have to understand that they have to show this top form.
Yeah, now you are in the countback, so it's crazy. You have to keep training so much because you were telling me. I want you to tell people about these competitions you will be doing to qualify for the Olympics. So it's very important now to keep training
Yeah.
really, really hard to qualify. So please tell us again what you need to qualify for the Olympics.
So, as we discussed with our coach, I have all this license for the Olympic Games. So, actually, I can go straight to Japan. But as I explained, for the rankings and for the team plan, as I have a lot of teammates who also have this opportunity, so to show who is the best and who has this opportunity and who is to go, we should take some big competitions. So the horse competitions are divided in dressage to the level of stars, starting with the two up to five, and we will seek for 5-star competitions, which is the higher, so not higher than the finals, the World Cup finals or European Championships, but still the highest you can find. And I think that we have to take up to 2 competitions with a high grade of status, and then we have to get the mark not less than 70%. So this gives you a ticket straight to Japan without, I think, feeling not comfortable about the teammates that who may have the higher rankings. So uh, approximately we have to do 2 competitions with marks not less than 70%. So and show the good shape, and then I think we just so we will leave our horses in Europe,
Mm.
as the current is 2 months, and from the end of July, just straight by plane to the competitions. But we will see if we will have this opportunity to compete. As so, I don't see at the moment some good news actually.
Let's hope for the best. I mean, it
Yeah.
has been a very difficult year for everyone, and the sports, of course, are affected. So let's hope for the best. I really hope that
Yeah.
you can compete. I mean, some sports are opening competitions like everywhere. So hopefully, in your sport, you will have also the opportunity to compete because, of course, it's very important now that you uh, rank, and be able to qualify for these Olympics. So we have some questions from the audience. Let's see. Someone is asking, how do you take your horse, for example, to Tokyo?
So a very nice question. Thank you for this question. Yeah. So I also had this question where when I just realized that we have this opportunity to attend the Olympic Games, and I realized that they are on the island in Japan, so
Yeah.
Tokyo. I was like, okay, how we can just get there, because usually we can get to Europe by car, which is not a problem. So here we have to use a plane. This is a special logistics companies that
Oh my God.
take the yeah. But so they work professionally. They work with horses, and they have special boxes. So the horse is taken by the elevator up to the plane, then into a special box, and during the flight, you have the people, like not the stewards or attendants, but this is your actually the people who work with horses.
Yeah.
If you win a grant, so your groom, we have a grooms, so your personal groom can have this ticket to fly with your horse, but this is really not so easy to do, as also each athlete wants his or her groom to come with a horse. That's why and the amount of places is really limited for people on the board. That's why usually there is 10 people on the board supporting and looking after 10 horses. So and I think on the board it could be up to 40 horses in the special boxes. So as I got all the information, as I don't have this experience, but I talked to people who had, and I talked to people who explained me how to do all this logistics. They explained that horse feel really comfortable and safe in the plane.
Oh, that's
So
good.
usually, so usually don't have such problems, and if it's necessary, there is a medical support also on the board. But usually they don't have this problem with heights, though. So they have uh, no problems with breathing. So they don't feel so much pressure
That's
as it was me. But it was also interesting. um and so I just then my second question was, and what about the period? So it's like more than 10 hours. Is
yes.
it okay for course, yeah, a long trip, and how they will feel after coming? So what will be with the shape? And here the answer was that so it really depends on the horse. So really depends on the character of the horse, on the health of the horse. So here we don't have insurance for, so we don't have the guarantee that your horse will come in a top fit shape, or it will be feeling so very good. But still, also this is a risk that we have
Yeah.
to take. We don't have other opportunity. Yeah, but we will look, as for example, all the uh World Cup finals the previous years were held in the United States, and people also had to fly with to fly by plane with horses. And so horses felt really good, nice, so there was no problem.
Wow,
So
this
we
is
will.
interesting. And we
Yeah.
another question. They are asking what happens when your horse gets injured.
Oh, this is so very I would say so the topic is very very hard for each athlete, as nobody wants their horses to get injured.
Yeah.
But first of all, you have to, so if we talk about the rules, we have to know. And so the first step, you have to understand what happened. So you call your veterinarian. Then you have your team managers and etc. So you have a team veterinarian, so you have to call him also. Then they have to find out what happened exactly, to find the circumstances, to understand what will be done to improve the situation, what medication is needed to be done by injections, or just with the pills, or so what. Then you have to stick to anti-doping rules to understand whether the doping with yours, so with your medical treatment, do you have the doping there or not. So you find always the treatment that is safe and clean. Then you have some schemes and schedule, and you schedule to make horse comfortable, and to give your horse time to feel safe and good and ready to work. So also your vet team decides how much time is needed to spend on uh, working with some injuries, and also depends on a kind of injury. But the first step you do, you call your veterinarian, because
Wow.
so each athlete never has enough knowledge to understand what to do. And sometimes even I have like this feeling, okay, I know what to do. So I had this situation, I will find some medication, I will just do my own treatment. But no, it works also with people like that. No, never do that. And also with the horse, no,
It-
never ever do that.
it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, of course.
And someone is asking, who trains your horse? You're your coach. You know,
Oh, very nice.
the tricks.
Thank you so also for that question. So some time ago I don't had so much experience, and I wasn't able to understand some details and moments on top of the horse, how to make horse make it, or just to teach horse to do some uh, for example, to do half pass or just period. And my coach really sat on my horse and showed me uh, with example how to do it. And
Wow.
it was a really, really nice thing. So it was really faster to understand. And I think this is very good idea, how to explain to your to your athlete how to do that. But
Yeah.
at the moment the thing is that each rider has personal style. So, nevertheless, what coach teaches you, have your personal style, and so the horses remembers all your trajectory and all the things you do. So that's why it's like in car. So we have this seat position number one. In you know
Mhm.
that this position is your. So the same with the horse, they just tend to always remember what you want from them and how you want. That's why at the moment my coach only stands on the ground and never sits on the horse. So only, yeah, teaching me from the ground.
Wow, this is really interesting. And we don't have any more questions, but we have someone who wants to say hi. Joandri from Chile. He's always
Hi.
here supporting.
Yeah, thank you for thank you for all your messages. Really nice to read this.
Gracias, Joandri. Well, this was all the questions for today. I learned so much and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for explaining so clearly, because now I will be able to understand what I'm watching on TV. I mean, it's a beautiful sport. Congratulations for your trajectory. And I wish you all the best this year. I really hope that you will be able to compete, that you will be able to qualify for the Olympics. You deserve it. And you're doing an amazing job. So, congratulations for all.
Masha, thank you so much for this opportunity. It was a big, big pleasure to me. So good luck with such amazing program, and just making people go into each sport, and so feeling that they can be closer, and maybe for someone some stories will be something like that will become stories in their future. So
Yes, of
thank
course.
you for this is amazing. Really appreciate it. It was really a pleasure for me. Thank you.
It was a pleasure for me
Right.
too. And thank you, everybody who joined us. Thank you for your comments, for your questions. This interview was very interesting. So we will be seeing each other soon. And spasiba, Olga, and thank you so much for everything. Thank you, guys, and see you later.
Later. Thank you so much. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.